Welcome back with special guest Roxy Coop. Roxy, tell us all sorts of things about the smoking cessation classes. When did you get involved with this?
Well, I'm a long-time ex-smoker. I've smoked for over 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you don't
Can't
look like a
believe that.
smoker. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know what a smoker looks like,
Yeah.
but I loved it. It was probably one of the most difficult things I ever gave up, and that's one of the reasons why this is so dear to me. And I've been doing the program in one form or another since 1998.
Oh my goodness, good
so
for you.
I have heard every story, every excuse, every wild reason why somebody can't give up the habit, but I'm telling you, thousands of people quit every day, and you're not alone. We are very fortunate in this community to have the Pikes Cancer Support House, and the hospital, BRMC, contributes to the program. And we did a lot of research on which program we wanted to do.
Because there's a lot out there.
There's a lot out
Yeah.
there, and they all have different success rates. The Quit Smart program was developed by Dr. Robert Shipley from Duke University. It's an excellent program. It has the best success rate we've ever found. Excuse me. It's usually 100% initially.
Wow,
Yes.
you can't beat statistics
No,
like
you
that.
can't beat that.
Wow.
And the reason it works is it addresses all the parts of the addiction process. You know, everybody knows that nicotine is physically addicting.
Right.
But if that was the only problem, we could slap a nicotine patch on and we'd be fine. But there's also the psychological addiction. And that's where you get the people who say, oh, I have too much stress in my life. I can't give up smoking. Well, that is where they have formed an emotional attachment to that cigarette.
Okay.
And then you have the habit.
Yeah.
You smoke a pack a day, that's 20 cigarettes a day. You do this 100 times. And when I first quit, I'm like, what do
with my
normal
hands?
people do with their hands? And you have to learn to relax. That normal people really don't do anything with their hands. In the program, we say it's like the first day on the nudist beach. You don't know what to do with your hands. So we give you tools to help you with that. We'll go over the medications. There's several medications out there now to help with the nicotine withdrawal. You know, the nicotine patches work by introducing nicotine into your system at a steady rate.
Now, when you're doing the actual classes, we're going to talk about that, how long they are, and they're all at the Pikes Cancer Support
Yes, they
House. Okay. Do you actually go over, as a registered nurse, then do you go over these medications?
Yes.
And you can provide those? Or
We can provide the nicotine patches.
Okay.
If you want to use a prescriptive med, you need to get with your physician.
Physician, of course, yeah. Okay.
But we've been very fortunate. The Pikes House is a beautiful, comforting, healing place to have the meetings. The hospital.
There's nothing intimidating about it. It's
No.
very warm and inviting.
Right. And we have anywhere from 3, we do them every month, the programs.
Oh, okay.
And I'll have either between 3 participants to 27. You never know. You know, when the taxes went up greatly, we had a huge class. So it's free to anybody in the community, and we need to make sure that the physicians are aware of that. That it's one thing to tell your patient they need to quit smoking. It's a lot easier if they have a way of helping them do that.
Give them a resource.
Right.
Here's how you can actually do it. Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the amount is now, but at one time the sin tax on cigarettes was $1.15 a pack. Several $1 million a year is raised in that sin tax. But Arkansas uses less than 2% of that money for tobacco cessation.
Yeah.
So we are very, very fortunate to have this free program available to anybody in the community. It's open to anybody, our patients, our employees, anybody's welcome to come. Yeah. So we're very, very fortunate. I've been doing it at the Pikes House with Larry Nelson. He helps me in the evenings. For many years, we're both certified in the Quit Smart program and in the Fresh Start American Cancer Society program.
Okay. So. Can you go into more detail on the programs themselves? So in other words, someone would call. Where do they call first of all?
You need to call 508-CARE.
Okay,
C-A-R-E.
Okay, that's the Pites House.
That's the Pites House. We do them, I do them each month either in the evening or during the day for those who don't drive at night and for those who work. So there's always that opportunity. The first time we meet, we go over the addiction process.
Okay.
And different tools on how to handle stress. We develop a plan. What am I going to do when I quit smoking? Because smoking takes an incredible amount of time. And now you've got more time on your hands. And the majority of my smokers are either retired or disabled. So boredom is a big problem.
Sure, and that might be why they're smoking
Right.
to begin with.
That's right.
It's
They have
filling
nothing
a
else to
void.
do. My truck drivers have a really bad time.
Yeah.
But so you need to have a plan, because when you first quit smoking, you can't remember why you thought that was a good idea. That was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
So you need
what was
to,
I thinking?
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
So am I going to learn to crochet? Am I going to learn to knit? Am I going to learn to paint? And my husband, when he finally quit, he took my car engine apart, cleaned it, painted it, and thank the good Lord, when he put it back together, it worked. but
But
you
he
know,
kept
whatever.
his hands
Busy.
and mind busy.
And I really encourage people, if they don't have a job to go to volunteer. The best way to forget your own problems is to help somebody else with theirs.
You bet.
And this is a wonderful community for that.
Yes, it is.
This next time we meet is your quit date, which is 2 weeks after the first time. And then we go over stress. How can I handle stress in a more productive way? How can I learn to deal with the everyday things that I would get upset with my spouse and I would go smoke a cigarette. Or my boss would chew me out, so I'd go smoke a cigarette. Or I'd get a flat tire, or my child would get evicted from school. What am I going to do instead? Healthier ways of handling that everyday stress, because those things are going to happen no matter what.
Yep, exactly.
And smoking's not going to change that. We also go over the next times. A lot of the ladies especially are worried about weight gain. So we talk about how you can actually eat more food but lose weight. You don't have to gain weight when you quit smoking, although it's we easily replace this with food. It's the type of food.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to go eat that whole case of ding-dongs, don't have that ding-dongs in the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, all
exactly.
It has, and then I follow up by phone call. A lot of people, they like it so much they want to just keep coming forever, and that's just not an option. But we can do a lot by phone. So
That's wonderful. As soon as you said that, as far as gaining weight, I was thinking when you were talking about the whole process, it absolutely would work as well for someone who wanted to lose weight.
Right.
Because you're doing the same thing. It's become
an emotional attachment.
Yep. Your
Right.
emotional attachment. It's become a habit. It's what you do when stress heads your way.
And you know, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of overweight smokers. So that's not really a good excuse.
No, you're right. You're right.
And you can, there's finger foods, carrots, celery sticks, cut up green peppers. The trick is to have it ready,
Yeah.
cleaned and cut up and prepared. Sunflower seeds. I never learned to spit till I quit smoking.
That's cute.
Almonds, grapes, you know,
Yeah.
anything other. And if you're a sweet person, you like candy, get the little ones. Excuse me, the M&Ms, grapes, nuts, Skittles, the little Red Hots. Licorice and cinnamon do really well for smokers. So the Jolly Rancher Fire,
Yeah.
or the Twizzle sticks.
Yeah.
You know, because you can smoke them, you can eat them, you can hit yourself on the head, you can do all sorts of things with them. They're very versatile.
Yeah, versatile.
So, but you know, the trick is to do it one at a time. Don't go to that M&M bow and start doing this. You know, it's all about self-control. I forgot to mention on the first session, we teach you about brand switching. And that's very
What's that mean?
pivotal.
Yeah.
What we do is we take you from your nicotine level now, and you switch brands and keep lowering your nicotine.
Really?
So by the time you get to your quit day, you have about half the nicotine in your system than you did before.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea that was, well, no wonder the
And that's one
program
of the
is such
number
a,
one things that work. Those
Yeah.
people who actually do it have better success rates. And they tell me that it was much easier than they thought it was going to be. We call that warm chicken instead of cold turkey.
yeah, yeah, warm chicken,
Yeah.
because you're not sacrificing, your body is not craving it as much because it's still getting it, but just not in the quantities that it was used to.
Yeah. You don't want to smoke more. You don't want to inhale deeper. And a lot of times the cigarette companies it'll be the same cigarette, but they'll put holes around the filters so that more air is mixed with the cigarette. Well, they place those holes right where you put your fingers. So don't put Scotch tape around it.
You have heard all the excuses, haven't you?
But they don't taste as good. So a lot of people are like, I couldn't wait for my quit date. These things are so nasty.
Do you have people actually do a pledge? Here's my quit date. In other words,
we have the American Cancer Society kind of does that, but I don't actually have them sign anything. But we tell them point blank, you know, every smoker secretly knows they should quit. And many of them want to quit. But until you decide to quit, that's the only difference.
It's like anything else with losing weight.
Right,
or
until you make that commitment to yourself. And you can't quit for someone else. It has to be for yourself. So, and we tell them, until that's no longer an option for you, you're giving yourself an excuse. If you save those 3 cigarettes in a drawer for just in case, there's always going to be a just in case. You've just given yourself permission to fail. And if you do fail, that's okay. You just figure out what went wrong, dust yourself off, and get back on that wagon.
Roxy, we need to take a short break, but we'll be right back. Don't go away. Let's learn more about how to stop smoking.